Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Wendy. If you're new here, I am on a weight loss mission and I am on the WW Blue plan, but that is not what my whole channel is about. I do a lot of other things, but today is kind of WW centered because I do have a couple recipes for you today. I hope you guys are going to enjoy it, but click that subscribe button as well as the notification button because next week we're going to Animal Kingdom and you don't want to miss that. Today we're going to be doing some frittatas. And of all things, are you ready for this? You're not going to believe it, but it's a pizza crust that's made out of chicken. You heard me, pizza crust made out of chicken. It is delicious, it is very filling, high protein, and I like it so much better than the 2-ingredient dough. Again, click that subscribe button, come along, have some fun, learn some new recipes. Hope you guys enjoy what we do today. Here's what we're going to need for our frittatas today. You can pretty much make these to customize whatever your tastes are. You can add veggies if you like. I was actually going to add some baby spinach to this, but of course I forgot it. We're going to stick with just the eggs, the sausage and cheese. Pretty basic, very delicious, low points overall on the blue plane. What we're going to need, I've got 1 serving of the fat-free mozzarella. And I've got 1 serving of the fat-free cheddar, so 28 grams of each. May not use all of it, probably won't, but went ahead and weighed out 28 grams of each. Going to use an entire carton of egg beaters. You could, of course, use regular real eggs if you like, but this is so much easier pouring it into the muffin pan. And I'm also using the Jenny O hot turkey sausage. And just a little salt and pepper, whatever seasonings are to your taste. It's totally up to you. But this is what we're going to get started with today. So let's do it. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and get this turkey browned up with a little salt and pepper first. I prefer the hot Jenny O just because it's leaner than the regular one. There's 2 at my local Publix. The one that's quote unquote hot, and it's really not hot, but it's labeled as the hot version. It is a little bit lower in points because it's listed as lean compared to just the other regular Jenny O turkey sausage, and it does not list it as lean. So the points do come up a little bit lower. And I'll put the points up on the screen. I don't have them handy right now, of course. These frittatas overall come out to, I think, if I remember correctly, 1 or 2 points each. I think it's 1. But again, I'll double check that and put the points up. For now, we're just going to brown up this turkey. And then we'll be able to put everything together. And you want to have your oven preheating, which I have not done. Go ahead and preheat that to 350. So we'll go ahead and get that going. And so we'll go ahead and get this taken care of. And again, you can really, make these your own, however you want to do them. I sometimes use some center cut black label bacon. You could do mushrooms. You could do pretty much any ham if you want. Really could customize this to whatever your preference is. Make it your own. But these are really good. They're very filling. I enjoy making them quite often. My wife really enjoys them too because they are gluten-free and she has to have a gluten-free diet. She enjoys these when I do get around to making them. And sometimes I'll, saute an onion and do that in there as well. But again, your girl forgot to get stuff at the grocery store. Forgot the list. We went to the grocery store. We had a really busy day this past weekend, doing a lot of running around. We are meeting with people about doing a bathroom remodel. Hopefully I'll be bringing that to y'all soon. Fingers crossed. So it was pretty busy and we were out and forgot our grocery list. And so, your girl forgot stuff. But we're gonna wing it and make the best of it. And they're still gonna be delicious regardless. So I could always throw in some onion powder if I wanted to do that. And I might, just because I do like that onion flavor. But I did go ahead and just put in some salt and pepper. Actually, let me go ahead and, I think I will put a little onion. Go ahead and get a little onion powder here. You can pretty much put any seasonings in here that you like. It really is completely up to you how you do these. I like to take recipes and play with them and kind of make them my own. I don't always do a lot of measuring, as you'll see. The more of these that I do, I'll just kind of sprinkle in seasonings until I feel my ancestors say, honey, that's enough. And so I don't always, unless I'm baking. Baking is different. I do tend to measure because baking can be very precise. But for things like this, I usually just sprinkle it until I feel like that's sufficient. I apologize if that drives some of you crazy. That's just how I do it. You can measure if you know you want to do a teaspoon of something. You do you. So getting this browned up, it's getting there. Okay, so we've got this all browned up and looking good. I did drain it. I do not rinse it because what's the point of putting seasoning on meat if you're just going to rinse it off? Makes no sense to me. So I did drain it again. Don't rinse it. You want the flavor. That's why you put it on there. So the next thing I did go ahead and use some Pam and spray my pan and getting it ready to basically put everything together. This is the easy part. So basically you're just going to fill each of the muffin cups with some of the sausage, pour some egg beaters over it, add some cheese to the top, easy peasy. Let's get this stuff put together. You'll see here in a minute why I use the egg beaters. I make such a mess, y'all. You have no idea. My wife is constantly questioning how anyone can make such delicious food but make such a terrible mess. And I say that's part of making delicious food is the mess. She does not agree. So anytime I can find ways to make it a little less messy, drive her a little less crazy, I try to do that. Plus it's just easier for me. Just about got these filled here. So now I'm gonna take the egg beaters. So just pour a little bit into each one to begin with, and then we can go back and add in more as needed. There we go. So that's done. Last step is to add some cheese to each one. Ready to go in the oven. I start them at 20 minutes. Depending on how brown they are, I may leave them in a little bit longer, but I'll let you know at the end exactly how long I ended up cooking these today. All right, these should be done. I think I left them in there about 30 minutes. 20 was not long enough for my oven. So let's take a look and see how they look. They smell good. And of course my glasses instantly fog up. There we go. These look fantastic. While these were baking, I did go in and build a recipe in my Weight Watchers app, and I'm going to be posting that here to kind of show you how to do it and how it calculates these points. Once your app is open, you're going to go into My Foods, then click on Build Recipe, enter the name of your recipe and the total number of servings. Then the easy part is just scanning the barcodes of each of your ingredients and selecting the total that you used within your recipe, such as 16 ounces of turkey. You can easily change it to cups, tablespoons, whatever your unit of measure is for each of your ingredients. If you don't have the barcode available, you can manually search for items by just typing in the name like Kraft fat-free cheddar. It will locate the nutritional information there as well. So it's super easy to modify, entering exactly how much you use for each ingredient. Now, as far as the serving size goes, that's totally up to you to determine. You can raise it or lower it depending on what you want, and that will, of course, affect the total number of points within your recipe. But it's super easy, and I love this feature of the app. Here are our finished frittatas. I'm going to have a little bit of fruit with these. Altogether, they are 2 points for one, or you can actually have 2 for only 3 points. So In this case, the WW math comes out in our favor. It's only 3 points for 2. I'm really going to enjoy these. I really hope y'all do as well. This is what we're going to need to make our pizza crust. So we're going to start with the pizza crust because the toppings, you know, can be pretty much whatever you like. So toppings are completely up to you. But this is what you're going to need to make an absolutely delicious pizza crust. So I use the 99% fat-free ground chicken, 2 eggs. We're going to use 2 ounces of Parmesan cheese, and then some seasonings. I've got Italian seasoning, garlic powder, onion powder, salt and pepper. Flavor however you wish, but this is how I do it. Gonna get all this mixed up. We're gonna roll out 2 total pizzas. This recipe, I guess you could really divide it up into as many as you'd like. It makes a lot. So you could divide it into smaller personal pan sizes. It's totally up to you. But typically what I do is just divide it, and then I've got a pizza for myself and then a pizza for my wife, because this is also gluten-free, which is perfect for her. Let's get this all mixed up. All right, so we've got our chicken in the mixer, and so now we're just going to add our 2 eggs. And I'm going to weigh out 2 ounces of the Parmesan. All right, so what I do is I use my scale, and instead of measuring the Parmesan into a separate container, you can do -2 ounces. So you just set this on your scale, zero it out, and then as you take out the Parmesan, when it gets to -2, you know you've removed 2 ounces. So that's the easiest way for me to do it. So just set it on there, zero it out, and then I'm going to add 2 ounces. .1. Still going with it. We're going to add our flavors. So you can pretty much add whatever you like. Again, I don't measure stuff. I'm sorry. I know it's going to make some of you crazy, but I just never have. It wasn't how I was taught to cook. So I'm sorry, but I'm just going to add some salt and pepper first. Just remember, Parmesan is salty, so don't over salt. It won't be good. Add our pepper. Add extra pepper for my wife. All right, and then the Italian seasoning. I'm going to add just a few shakes of that. And this is just a general Italian seasoning. It's got the usual suspects in here. Oregano. I don't know. I can't see. I'm getting new glasses. These are terrible. It's got Italian seasoning in it. All right. Then onion powder. I'm gonna add a little of that. And then garlic. I add a lot of garlic. I like garlic. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, got all of our seasonings in there. We're going to mix this up. Sorry for the noise. All right, so now this is sticky. I will tell you, it is sticky. So I will, once I get it divided onto 2 different cooking sheets, I will spray the top of it with a little bit of Pam just to help me roll it out. Also, the oven has been preheating for at 500 degrees. 500 degrees. So get that going, because it takes a minute for an oven to get up to 500, or at least mine does. So I'm going to get this out, divide it between 2 pans. I do. Anyway, we're going to get this divided between 2 pans. I have the chicken divided onto the 2 pans. I'm just going to spray both of them a little bit, like I said, with Pam, because it is really super sticky. And then I'm going to get it rolled out with a roll-in pin. And I did also spray the pans, the bottom, with Pam as well. You don't want it to stick. And I'm actually going to Get my hands in it. They're clean. I washed them before I started recording again. But I just want to get it in the general shape, get it flattened out a little bit before I start trying to roll it out with a rolling pin. So, ew. I'm probably going to spray a little bit more Pam on here because it is extra sticky for some reason. I'll wash my hands again in a minute. Got my rolling pin. I am going to spray the top a little bit more with my Pam. Don't worry, I will disinfect this can because I have touched chicken and now I'm touching this. I won't cross-contaminate. Just going to spray the top. This is a non-stick rolling pan anyway, but like I said, this is really super sticky. Now we're just going to roll it out. And I just very gently roll it out, turning the pan until you get it rolled out to the desired thickness. I like to get it pretty thin. I think it tastes better when it's thinner, but you do whatever works well for you. I think last time I did this, I mixed it up and put it in the refrigerator overnight, and I don't remember it being this sticky. So maybe that's a good recommendation. But if it sticks, it's easy enough to fix. It's not like we're doing anything wrong. So just fix it and keep rolling. All right, so I think this one is pretty good. Can't really get much thinner than it is. I am going to try and shape it up a little bit, kind of get it round like a pizza. All right, so that one's good. I'm going to roll out the other one. You're really not rolling it out so much as just trying to spread it out. It is not like a dough. It's not going to behave like a dough. So just work with it, understand that this is different, and just make it work. Because believe me, it's delicious and worth the effort. Are they perfect? No. But that's okay. We'll call it rustic. Rustic's good. Alright, so these are good. This one is semi-round. It's not as round as the other one. Let me work on it a minute. Alright, so these are ready. I'm going to throw them in the oven. My oven is preheated to 500 degrees. These are going to cook for 10 minutes, and then I'll check them, see if we're ready to throw some toppings on here. All right, my oven's making some crazy noise, so I apologize for that, but we're going to ignore it, and we're going to pretend like the oven's not about to break. But here's the pizza crust. It's been in there about 15 minutes, actually, but it's starting to get a little golden brown around the edges. And so we're at the point now. I went ahead and pulled it out, and I'm going to add toppings to it. I make a 0-point marinara. I'm going to show you that. It's real simple. I don't like to use jarred marinara sauce because there's a lot of points in those, or there's more points than I want to add. So I do make a 0-point one. So again, this is what she looks like when she comes out of the oven. She's smelling delicious. Here's what you need for the marinara sauce. I just use the Hunt's tomato sauce. You can just use whatever tomato sauce of your choice. Just make sure there's no sugar in it. Scan it. I always scan things before I buy them at the grocery store. This one is 0 points. I'm going to add my own flavorings. You can, again, do this however you wish. I'm doing the traditional garlic, onion powder, Italian seasoning, salt, and pepper. You're going to simmer this and just let it get thick. It will thicken as it simmers. I usually let it simmer and just until it looks thick enough to me. I don't really know how long it is, maybe half an hour or so, but just watch it, and whenever it starts to get thick, then you know it's ready to go. Here's my sauce. I went ahead and just added a little bit of each of my seasonings that I showed at the beginning. Stirred it up. I'm going to set this on low and just let it simmer for about 30 minutes or so. I will stir it occasionally. I will also cover it, and as soon as it gets thick, I will be able to go ahead and get that added to both of my pizza crusts. as well as the rest of my toppings. So I'll be back to show you that as soon as this is ready. Here are the pizza crusts. So there's the larger one and there's the smaller one, but they are still very large. I mean, you see it is a big pizza crust. This one is of course a little bit smaller, but it is still very large. They are getting brown around the edges, so they are ready to come out. I will lower the temperature down to about 450. And here in a little bit, I'm going to add the pizza sauce as soon as it's finished and show you how these come together and make delicious pizza. All right, so we're ready now. Sauce is ready. We're gonna put this all together, get it baking in the oven, and then it's gonna be dinner time. So I'm just gonna put some of this sauce on here. That's probably plenty. Spread it around. Then I'm using turkey pepperoni. It's this particular brand here that I'm using. For this one, you can do 16 pieces for 2 points or 9 pieces for 1. Pizza this size, probably 9 is going to be sufficient. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9 is going to be, it's going to be fine. So we're going to do 9 for 1 point. And then I'm going to add some of the fat-free Kraft mozzarella cheese. It's going to be approximately a 1/4 cup per pizza. Would recommend weighing it. I've done this and I know about how much a 1/4 cup is. So if you're just starting out, I recommend that you weigh it. So far the crust itself is 3 points. The pepperoni is 1 point and the cheese is 0 points. So this entire gigantic pizza is 4 points for this whole thing. I'm gonna get the other one put together, get these in the oven, and I'll show you what they look like when they come out. All right, so this just came out of the oven. I had it in there for 10 minutes just to heat everything up, and we're ready to enjoy our delicious 4-point pizza.